everybody, it's Diane from Tattered Edges Design. I'm going to make some more faux postage stamps today. This time we're using butterflies as the main images, and I cut all these from a sheet, and yes, they were tedious, if you can see the size, tell by my hand. That I found on the internet. It was a copyright free thing. So that's those. I was going to glue them to, this is just printer paper, but I was thinking, well, maybe in lieu of just white, I want not bold color, but some kind of pale color behind. So my thoughts went to watercolor, just because that's what I do. I could do pencil, real pale markers, maybe. But anyway, I'm going to try it on the printer paper because if I use real watercolor paper, if you're familiar with it, it has a texture and you can see that. And if these turn out sensational, which I hope they do, I was going to put them in my shop as a digital, and I'm afraid if you print that, you're going to see that. Are you following me? So I'm going to, and I know this is going to buckle and stuff, but I'm going to try this and we'll see if it's usable. But just very, very light, just so it's not white. I mean, white would be okay, but I don't know. I just thought that was awfully predictable. So I don't know, can you even pick that up on camera? It's very pale. And considering the colors here of the butterflies, I'm going yellows, golds, little blue. And beyond that, I didn't have any big brainy ideas. I did think maybe I'll spatter a little bit, so let me move these out of the way. But usually I postmark, I will do that, definitely, my postmark stamps on them. But do I want, write something on it, or I don't know. So alright, are we getting how pale this is? Yeah, Diane, that's really boring. But that's what I wanted for a background. And how many of this stuff I really need, or how much of this stuff I really need, I don't know. Because I've got, 15 or so butterflies. So I have no idea how much that's going to take up. Let's see. Let's do something smart. All right, so maybe 2 more. Okay, we're going to guess 2 more papers. And I don't have to be too smart yet because this is December 30th. I don't know when this will air, but right now it's December 30th, so it's not January yet. It's not a new year yet for me, so I don't have to be that smart yet. I'm not turning over a new leaf or anything yet. I don't know. I'm not big on resolutions and stuff. I think about it, kind of. It's a new year, maybe, and then it's the same old stuff. It's kind of hard to tell, too, if you can tell by this one. The paper gets, like, transparent almost, because it's so thin. So it's kind of hard to tell how much color you really have down. That's why you really shouldn't be using printer paper, Diane. But we are anyway. All right, one more. All right, this one's a little brighter. Getting. All right. I guess it doesn't matter. These are all the same. These are just cut-offs from other printer projects. I was trying to say printer and printed, I guess. That makes sense. Printered projects. And no, I didn't spatter on that one. I'm kind of thinking maybe I don't want a ton of spatters. If you see these, I don't think you want that on a spattery background. So, and no, they don't have antennas. I will draw those on. There's no way. Here, do you want to see a... I had a couple extra I didn't cut out. I mean, do you think I'm going to cut those antennas out? Get away with the little orange. Okay, well, you know now what I'm going to say, right? I have to let this dry. So I will pause and come back and hopefully have papers to show you. If it's a complete disaster, we'll start over. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I'm popping back on. They're still damp, but pretty dry. And actually, they're not that curled. I'm pleased with that. So I put a few butterflies down to see what I think. And obviously, the more colorful does have a lot going for it. But this one that's more pale, does that look more vintage? Do we like that? Or do I want to flip the butterflies around? Or do we want more color? And talk really loud because I can't hear you. Personally, I think I want more color. So for you people that said, no, leave it more antique-y looking, I'm sorry. And for those of you that have these great New Year's resolutions, I'm sorry if my little chat was a downer before singing when I was off camera. Gee, Tanya, that was really great. It's always the same old stuff. I'm just speaking for myself. If you have New Year's resolutions and you're going to turn over a new leaf and start new things, I wish you the best of luck. And maybe shoot some my way, huh? What about yellow? Alright, I think that's better. Alright, well, I still have to wait for these to dry. So I'm going to sign off for a little while again. And I think I'm done. I don't think I'm going to be putting more color on. We'll see. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Papers are dry. I did not weight them down or anything. It's just the edges and ends are kind of curled, so I can definitely live with that. It's fine. You know, it's nothing exciting. I'm not thrilled or something, but just as a color for the background, it's fine. So my next step, I guess, is to glue them down. But I was thinking, usually when I do this, I just glue my images and cut them randomly. I don't care because normally I'm just putting these on, you know, journal pages or a collage or something. But if I really want to make them as a digital, I thought, you know, should we look professional and have them the same size, since I kind of group these by size. So I think that's a good idea. Not that I really want to do that, but so I was going to measure an inch, I don't know, an inch square. Yeah, actually, yeah, I should have thought of this before. I mean, postage stamps are all over in size. Let me grab some. Yeah, I've got everything back here. Well, all right, this, here's a Cookie Monster stamp. Well, that's like 3/4 by 1 1/8. See, to me, that's a typical size. And these dog ones, that I only have one left, they're bigger, 1 1/4, 1 3/4 about. Well, I don't know, does that help me? I don't know that I wanted them square. Of course, maybe I shouldn't, and that way it will give me more room for, you know, writing or stamping. Okay. Okay, so an inch across, let's write this down, Diane. An inch across for the small ones. And maybe like an inch and an eighth. I'm not sure about that. All right, the big ones. Let's move on. Okay, 1 3/8 across. And I don't know, up and down. Maybe I should have them be rectangular this way instead of this way. That makes more sense, doesn't it? 1 1/8. All right. Now that we all watched Diane use a ruler, I guess I'll pause and grid this out. Nobody wants to watch that. I don't particularly want to watch it either. All right, I'll come back when I have some sort of way to cut these out. Okay, hang on. Okay, as you can see, we're cut out, we're glued down, we have antennas once again. I think they look pretty cool, and yeah, I overestimated. I got a whole sheet of this left, but big deal. So I was thinking, oh, just for the record, before I was thinking, this is what I used to cut the edges, which I have since seen. Some people have, it's actually, I forget if they call it stamp or postal edging, where it's a little more, this is like a pinking, you know, like a triangle. And postage stamps are really, it's a little more rounded, and that's what that is. So, you know, if you ever see those and you make these, grab them. Well, I haven't looked for them. But yeah, maybe I should get a pair of those. But anyway, aside of postage marks, how am I going to decorate these? I kind of thought of a narrow border around the edge. But as you can possibly maybe see from the antennas, I thought that marker would be a little too heavy, a little too black, and that's really the thinnest marker I have. So I thought, well, what about an ebony pencil? Which, yeah, in case you don't know, they come in a normal pencil length. This just happens to be really short and used up, and I probably should get another one. But because it'll be black, but not marker black. So I'm just going to try one, and let me get cheaters, and then do the rest off camera. So just, let's see, let me get my ruler. And really, it doesn't have to have a border. I just thought they were kind of plain, which, I mean, it's a stamp. It's not, you know, it doesn't need a lot of extraneous design. But I just thought it was a little overly plain. And as you can see, I'm not actually measuring it or anything. Alright, any corners to tidy, yes. And actually, ebony, if you go real heavy, doesn't necessarily erase. But if you don't go so heavy, it should a little bit. Alright, okay, so there is that idea. Yeah, I think that looks, obviously there's more to it that way. Okay, so I'm going to do that, so I won't make you watch that. Just a couple little notes. One, you know, this is awfully thin because it's just cheap, like 20-pound printer paper, I guess, which for my purposes is fine. But if you do want something more substantial, maybe use a cardstock or an index card. However, that being said, my edge scissors, at any rate, they cut a lot better just on paper than a heavier stock. So think about that. All right, I'm going to add, border, and then come back and probably stamp. So we will do that in a minute. Okay, all the borders are drawn, which was a little more tedious than one might think, but they're done. And then I went ahead and wrote, it's a cursive TE, could be construed as some sort of foreign code, in the same pencil. Because I was thinking, you know, since I may try to sell these digitally, you know, I can't put USA or, you know, a real country or something on there. So it's like, okay, Diane, make up a country, be clever. Of course, I couldn't think of anything, so I thought, well, Tattered Edges Design. Maybe I'll do something with that, or the initials or something. Well, the initials spell Ted. That's kind of dumb. So I just went with TE. And then I was thinking of putting like a D or another letter somewhere, but I don't think it's going to take it space-wise. So the next step is going to be putting a number on, and then probably forgetting about the other letter, but we'll see. But anyway, my letter, our number stamps are a little large. The big ones could probably take those, but these, it's going to be too big. So the same thing, what am I going to do? And it's like, well, what about my date? Well, this is a number stamp, but I use it for the year 2020 or whatever. So I think if I cover, you know, with a paper, it should be okay. So we're going to give it a try. So I just have a 3 here, and I'm just going to go in the corner and, just a minute. If you get a scrap paper to put over it, Diane, that would be helpful. So, you know, to cover, if possibly, although I scooched them over, but if one of the other numbers got on it, yeah, that's a pretty good size. All right, I'm going to make them different numbers just because who wants to be boring and have the same number? Okay, could even do multiple numbers, couldn't we? Here, let's stamp off the 3. I don't know, 4. Here, we'll scooch. You get scooched back. I don't know, for what? For maybe something that's not too wide, although they're probably all the same, right? How about 4, 7? All right, let's see if I have it lined up. Yeah. All right, do we want to watch Diane stamp all these? Not really. Actually, that's not enough. I don't think that's enough room. Let's just go with 4. Let's not be too risky. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think 2 digits would fit on that one. These 2 they might. Oh, those 3 they might. There's more room. Well, all right, we'll give one more a 4. So we have, you know, we have 2 3s and 2 4s, and then we'll do 2 something else's. Yeah, it's kind of neat. All right. Do we want to try double? All right, we'll go with different. How about 1? We'll do 1 7. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. A little tiny, little blurry, but it's okay. All right, I'll do this one, and then I'll pause and do the littler ones there. No, that one didn't take. All right, let's think about that. Okay, I'm gonna pause. Okay, they all have a number. The one that didn't take, I just left it because I just thought it was too risky to try to squeeze in a number. I don't want to write it. It's going to look different. So I'll camouflage it with the postmarks. Same with like this 8. Got kind of wonky, looks sort of stretched. Although honestly, I thought it actually looked kind of cool. Like, it was just misprinted. Things happen like that. I thought that was actually kind of neat. But I'll probably camouflage it. So I've got my postmark stamps here. So I'm going to do that. And then I guess I'm done, huh? Is this way too confusing here? Yeah, let's turn that over. And if you didn't watch my last one, I usually go off the stamp one. That way you don't obscure the design too much. See with those lines there? I don't think you notice so much that there's not a 7. And 2, that's the way if you get, stamps, they often are like that anyway. And the only problem with these is I can't tell without holding them up to the light which way they go. There. And just even like nipping a corner is kind of fun, I think. All right, here's the wonky 8, so we'll take that out. There. I mean, really, that kind of looks like a real stamp, don't you think? I think. And yeah, if somebody's interested, this was a Bow Bunny set that's a few years old, 3 years old, I don't know. So I don't know if you can still get it, maybe on eBay or something, but it's not new. I'm awfully glad I bought it. I kind of hesitated because, to be honest, I'm a little cheap when it comes to buying craft supplies and stuff. Because one, I've got kind of a lot, and two, stamp sets and that they're not that inexpensive, especially if you're sending for it. And by the time you put on shipping, it's like, do I really need that? But I am glad I spent the money on this. I've used it a lot. I imagine there's other stamp sets that have postmarks and stuff too. I don't know what they are though. Well, I think this one's too big. I thought of maybe just using like the corner or something. I don't know. But nah, I think it's too big. Yeah. Alright, which way did you go? This way. I kind of wish I would have thought to use the ebony pencil on the antennas. I think that would have been better. This marker is just a little severe, I think. It's fine. I mean, if I really hated it, I'd do them over. But I wish I would have thought of that first. Next time, huh? Well, that's upside down. Is it? Yeah. This goes this way. Oh well, alright, so we'll just fudge it. Postmarks are upside down sometimes too. There. The world will never know. And that's from a Muppet Show episode. This one can just get lines. Okay. All right. I don't think got nice inky fingers. Maybe this one gets some lines down there. Yeah, I'm not going to go back and add. You know, I said maybe putting in a letter, a stamped letter. I'm not going to force it. It's going to be too crowded. All right, let's get these little once-overs. This one could use something. It's a little plain. All right, which way did this go? This way. There we go. All right. All right, you guys want a little quickie look? Here, paper. Yeah, I printed some to do birds at some point too. These are fun, and you know, they can be a little, like I said, a little tedious depending on how detailed you're getting. But generally speaking, it's a not too involved project. It's kind of nice. Okay, let's see. Should have got a board. Well, I think this is fun. And yeah, you know, just at a glance, I don't think you'd get that they were handmade. So yeah, just glance at them. Okay, there we go. This butterfly faux postage stamps that will probably wind up in my shop as a digital. Kind of fun. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. I do hope everybody has a very nice New Year and have a very nice day today.